In this video, you're going to learn how to set up your Facebook Messenger ads with GoHighLevel. If you're new here, my name is Armando, and I help local businesses use the internet to bring in more leads and sales. And if that's something you're interested in, click the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the other videos. So our starting off point is the Facebook Ads Manager. This is where you're going to be setting up your Messenger ads, campaigns, your ads, and your ad sets. Now there are two ways that you can essentially create Messenger ads to connect them with GoHighLevel, and I'm going to be covering both of those methods in this tutorial. But before I do that, I want to let you know that in the description of this video, there are resources linked that I talked to through this tutorial. There's going to be links to the GoHighLevel platform to get 14 days free trial, and there's going to be a link to my mini workshop that teaches you how to get consistent 10 leads every week using a simple Facebook ad strategy. So now with that out of the way, let's go and set things up. So the very first step obviously is going to be to set up your Messenger ad campaigns, and we're going to talk about the first type of campaign that you can set up. If you are creating a new campaign and you are on the classic interface, which looks like this is the screen that you're going to get. This is where the awareness, consideration, and conversion objectives are broken down. What you want to choose from here is messages to create a new campaign. If you are using the new interface, the new ODAX, or your account has already switched to the new ODAX, it's going to look different. It's going to look like this here. And in this interface, there's actually several sections where you can create a messenger campaign. Number one is going to be under engagement. You can see that there's a messages engagement portion there, and the second one is going to be under lead generation, and you can see that there's also a message section there. If you're on this interface, what you want to do for the first setup is click on engagement and then set it up that way. All right, now that we have a campaign set up for conversations, I'm going to show you what that actually looks like here. So if I click on the campaign level, I've got my messenger campaign selected here. This is the objective that I've selected, and I'll go to the ad set level where you're allowed to pick all your targeting, demographics, and placement, etc. One thing I want you to know is the destination. It says messaging app type. You're allowed to choose more than one place where you can have conversations with people, but for us, we're just going to choose Messenger as the one that we want the conversation or the conversion to happen. Okay, once we do that, you're going to go down to the ad level. This is where your ad is actually going to get set up, where your creative is going to be plugged in, where your image is going to be set up in here, your copy, all that good stuff is going to be in here. Okay, once you fill out your headline, your description, and your call to action that you want in here, the next step is actually to set up the conversation. And what I mean by conversation in this scenario is that when you preview this in Messenger, when you edit this, this is sort of like a standard conversation window that pops up when somebody clicks the send message button on your page and they just visit it. Okay, so in this setup, you're probably going to generate more conversations with people, more interactions with your prospects and you and your team inside of Messenger. They're going to ask questions, they're going to have concerns, they're going to ask for pricing, and it's going to be your job to kind of filter these through the HighLevel automation and get those set up. Okay, so the very first thing that you have is this welcoming text that shows shows the user what they're here for, right? In this case, I've set it up for like a cleaning quote, right? So the very first thing that I ask is, are you interested in a window cleaning quote? And then I've got a couple questions in here. You can add more. I typically, just leave 2 or 3 questions. Question number 1 is, it usually says, it's a statement. It says, yes, I'm interested and I need a quote. So they're going to press this button and they're going to let you know what they want. Question number 2 is, I have a few questions first. Okay, which you can then enter a response that says something like, great, what questions do you have, or what do you want to know? Now, once you select the questions that you want in here. You can name this. You can name this whatever you want in here to set it as a template. You can have more than one. You can have about 50, 60 if you want. And then you want to save this and finish it. And that's going to be what shows up when somebody clicks the message icon from your ad. They're going to get the window and it's going to ask them, hey, are you interested in the window cleaning quote or whatever you choose? And then the questions will follow, okay? People are not in a conversation with you, and it's not an actual conversion until they reply or they click one of those two options. Now, you've set this up. Let's integrate this into GoHighLevel. So now we're going to be connecting the Facebook Messenger ad that you just created to your HighLevel account. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is from the left-hand pane, click on Settings, and from Settings, you're going to want to go to Integrations, still on the left-hand pane. Once you're in Integration, what you want to look for is the box that has the Facebook and the Instagram icon, and you want to connect that. Mine says connected because I've already done it, but yours, if you haven't connected it, you need to click Connect, and another window is going to open up that's going to ask you to log into Facebook, and then it's going to give you the list of pages that you have access to. But if you only have one, pick the page that you want connected to this account. Follow the prompts. It's going to ask you to confirm a couple things, and then you get to choose the Facebook page and Messenger that's connected to that page. Okay. Once you do that, we're going to head back to the main dashboard navigation on the left-hand side, and you're going to go to Automations. Once you're in Automations, what you can do is create a new workflow here. Pick from any one of these campaigns that you've got going on in here. It could be a Facebook Messenger reply, or there are a few others in here that you can set up. But typically what I like to do is just kind of start from scratch. I click Start from Scratch, and I will create a new workflow in here. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is click on Add New Trigger. Okay, and you want to name this something that actually makes sense to you, right? You don't just want to leave them blank, because then if you've got a whole bunch of different things in here, it's going to get confusing. So label it something that makes sense to you. The workflow trigger type is CRM, and to choose the trigger is going to be customer reply. Once you choose customer reply, you're going to add another filter. This is going to be reply channel, and the channel that you want to select in this case is going to be Facebook Messenger. Once you choose Facebook Messenger, you're going to add another filter, and you're going to choose the phrase, right? So you can say contains a phrase, doesn't have a tag, etc., etc., etc. Contains these questions if you've got a question that you asked. But what we want to do is we want to do an exact match phrase, and then we're going to come back to your Facebook Messenger ad, and we're going to preview the form that you created, the two options of the chat that you created. Now remember, a potential client or customer, they have to click one of these two options in order to communicate with you, right? That's the conversion. So what I want to do is if somebody says, yes, I'm interested and I need a quote, I would just want to copy that. And then I want to come back to HighLevel and I want to paste that in there and I want to save it. Now, what does this do? It creates a trigger saying that anytime there's a customer who replies in Messenger with this exact same phrase from the two options you gave it, that's gonna trigger this workflow. From here, you can, send a message to that person and say, great, tell me more about your business, or whatever it is that you want. You can reply to that person from within HighLevel with automated messages that can do whatever you want. You can even ask for a phone number, you can ask for an email, take this offline, whatever. But now you've integrated, you've connected the first way to set up a Facebook Messenger campaign with GoHighLevel. That's how you do that here, okay? Now, from this point on, any conversation that you have with that person, that that contact is going to be imported into HighLevel. It's going to show up in your conversation stream right here. And you can see that these that are Facebook Messenger have this little icon right there, and they'll show up, and you can have conversations with them within HighLevel or let the automation take over. Now, the second way to actually set this up is to set it up with a little bit more advanced automations. Okay, this is ideal if you are like hardcore into lead generation and you want to ask a few things, you want to weed people out without having too much on one or the other side. Okay, and in order to do this, you're going to select from the classic interface lead generation objectives as you set up your Facebook ad. If you're in the new ODAX, you're going to be able to choose leads in order to set up your messenger ad. Okay, now before I jump into this setup, I want to tell you again that all the links that I mentioned in this video are down in the description of this video. There's also a 14-day free trial of GoHighLevel. If you guys are not on it yet, go ahead and test it out and jump on that. It's a great tool to actually take your lead generation and the amount of sales that you make to the next level. The other thing I do want to mention is that there is also a link to my mini workshop. This is a very practical, no BS type workshop that shows you the one strategy that can get you 10 additional leads each week using a simple Facebook ad. I keep that up to date, and I plan on adding more stuff to it in the next few weeks. So go ahead and check that out. Now, let's finish this setup. So you've chosen lead generation as your objective, and you're in the campaign level here. You can kind of see this is the original interface. So I click lead generation, and then I jump into the ad set level. Now, from the ad set level, you're going to notice that there are a few more options. The options are actually different in here than the previous messenger setup. So under lead method, typically under lead generation, you default to instant forms. Okay. But in this case, since we want to create a messenger ad, I'm going to change where the conversion happens, where we actually do business with people. And I'm going to change it to automated chat. I'm going to choose this option. Once I choose that option, you're going to fill out all your demographic information, your placements, your budget, all that stuff at the campaign level. And once you're done with that, you're going to go to the ad set level. And this is where we're going to finish off setting up the ad and connecting it to HighLevel. So the very first thing that you want to do, obviously, is give everything a name. Choose your creative. Type in your primary ad text, your headline, your description, your call to action, whatever that is in here. And then you're going to come to this section that says Messenger Template. Now, you notice that this is different than what you just saw in the first setup, because the first setup is set up to have more conversations with people who are most likely to buy your stuff, who are most likely to be like your ideal customers. This one is a little bit different because it allows for a little bit more automation and a little bit more qualifying and disqualifying of those people that come in through the chat. So you can see that I have a demo chat set up in here. What you want to do is create a new chat. You can even preview this in Messenger if you like. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of take a look at this demo chat so you guys can see what that looks like. And you're going to create that in here. And so this is a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. So the way I typically set this up is I go through my options in here of setting up the name. Okay, give this a name. You have confirmation messages that will remind somebody if they haven't filled out the form or they haven't submitted the questions, which is kind of neat. And then I go to the content. We have a welcome message. This is similar but not identical in theory to what lead generation ads are. Okay, so I have the welcome message that typically I ask people right away, hey, are you interested in generating A, B, C, D, E? So if you're doing, in this case, junk removal, I said, are you interested in getting more junk removal jobs? And then I follow it up with a question that says, if yes, click the button below, and they have to click yes, I want to grow, or nothing, right? Because at this point, I want to disqualify those people who just clicked the ad by accident, or those that were nosy and just wanted to zoom in on the video or the picture. I asked a very specific question. If you're interested in this, click yes. Let's kind of go. And then you're allowed to ask a series of questions that you can pre-qualify people with or not. And even select a disqualification question that you can send people to. So if they answer the wrong question, you can have a disqualification in here that tells people, hey, you weren't the right fit. Sorry about that. So you're not messing around with them. Okay, but once you choose your questions in here, you're essentially creating a lead generation form, but in the form of a conversation within Messenger. Okay, so people aren't just filling out a form, they feel like they're interacting with you personally. Okay, you want to click your completed message along with your private policy page, which you didn't have to do in the previous setup, and then click save and finish in order to save it here. Now, we are going to tie this type of messenger ad to HighLevel. So what we're going to do is inside of your HighLevel account, you're going to go to settings. You're going to click on integrations, and within integrations, you're going to click on Facebook form field mapping. This is very different than what we just set up because the original ad that we set up was conversation ad and there was no form. But you can see that my form that I just created here, okay, this one is called a demo chat, is actually right in here imported as if it was a lead generation form. So what you want to do from here is click map fields and actually turn this form on in order to import your contacts in here. You're going to have to match some of these fields from the questions that you asked inside the messenger chat. So last name, full name, Facebook inbox URL, just pick from here. What is your address? Obviously you get to pick address. What's your phone number? That's going to be phone number. That's going to be which city do you live in, and then you can have a custom value for this, sort of like an opt-in. Did this person opt in? Yes or no, or what their answer was to that. Okay, so just pick it from the list that's in here and click save, and now your form is actually mapped and ready to rock and roll. Now, if you have a custom field in there that didn't show up, the way you do that is you want to go to custom fields on the left hand pane, and you want to create that custom field in here by giving it a text and whatever that custom field name is in order for it to show up on the actual messenger form. So now that you've done that, it's actually time to create an automation for it so that you can really leverage HighLevel in order to close more of these deals and generate more leads, become more profitable, obviously, duh. So from the left hand panes, you want to click on automation. And then in the workflow section, you have all your automations that are in here. And I'm just going to create a new one just so you can see what that looks like from scratch. I'm going to choose create new automation from scratch, click continue. Very first thing after that is click on add new trigger, and you want to give this a trigger. So this is going to be a slightly different setup because remember what I said, this type of setup is a little bit more advanced and it almost behaves like a lead generation ad. So what you want to do is name this whatever you want. It's not going to be CRM, it's going to be Facebook as the trigger type. Choose a workflow trigger, that's going to be Facebook lead form. Select add filters, and then you're going to come in here and choose inform, and then from inform you're going to actually pick the actual demo form from your chat. So click demo form and then click save triggers. Now what this is saying is that somebody went to the Facebook Messenger ad, they clicked the button, they answered the questions in the form or some sort of question in the form, and now they're here. From here you can actually set up your workflow. You can respond to them through Messenger right here. If they gave you a text, you can take this conversation offline from Messenger into text and actually do your lead generation workflow that is possible through all the automation. From this point on, those leads will actually live inside of your HighLevel dashboard. They become contacts. You can have conversations with them via email. You can send them messages, etc. And you're fully integrated with GoHighLevel. So that's how you connect both type of messenger ads to HighLevel fully in order to take advantage of all the automation. Now, there's obviously more advanced stuff that you can do. What I personally like to do is take these messenger ads and get people to give me their phone number and email so I can take the conversation off of Messenger and strictly have it inside of HighLevel so that I can use all the automation, follow-up system, appointment reminders, etc. That I'm limited to with Facebook and the amount of people who are on there. And so you can take that a step further with GoHighLevel. Again, if this was helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out the links in the comment in the description of this video. There's a 14-day free trial to HighLevel, and there's a link to my new workshop that shows you how to get 10 additional leads each week with a single Facebook ad strategy that's very practical, easy to consume. Usually in 1 hour, you're up and running. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.